Welcome, everybody. My name is Jack Ormanroyd, and today I'm going to explain to you why appointment setting is the biggest scam in the entire of the online space. I've got no script for this. I've got no bullet points. I've got literally nothing. I've just got my mind and my fucking beliefs on how appointment setting limits you so fucking much in comparison to where you could be if you just skipped it. Point number one is the make money online space, right? How you make money online has been shaped and evolved into this disgusting fucking hierarchy. Like, you must do this. You must become an appointment setter first. Then you must become a closer. Then you must become a sales manager. Then you must run your own business. Like, it's a fucking lie. The whole perception on this industry is so warped because everybody thinks that people are going to hire you, but you're going to have a higher chance of being hired if you go appointment setting, then you go into closing. You do not need to do that. People buy into their own bullshit limitations about what they need to do first. There is no hierarchy in this space. You do not need to climb a ladder. You can literally skip all of that and go straight into running your own business if you would like to. I personally wouldn't recommend it because you can learn skill sets first. And that's how you're going to be able to go on and smash running your own business later on down the line. Appointment setting is not a valuable skill that will compound into other areas of your life. Which leads me to point number two. Appointment setting brings zero fucking growth. Because what you have is all of these setting coaches and all of these setting mentors in the space who have barely even mentored themselves through life. They're sitting there telling you that you can make $50, $20, $25,000 a month as an appointment setter, which is fucking bullshit because appointment setting will not give you fucking risk. Appointment setting will not give you social confidence. Appointment setting will not teach you how to navigate through a fucking conversation. What appointment setting will do is it will literally just make you sit there, type messages on DMs all day or dial leads all day and just follow a fucking script and follow a framework and sit there and be like, oh yes, I'm making 3K a month online now. I'm like, bro, that is so fucking gay. Because imagine if you did the opposite, right? And you jumped straight into taking sales calls and you jumped in the deep end. You either sink or you swim. Most people, they want to adopt this mindset of like, okay, in order to learn how to swim, I need to put armbands on first. I need to have a little float, a woggle, and swim around the sea. And then eventually I can learn the next stage. It's not true. Becoming a good closer has no relevance to being a good appointment setter. No fucking way, shape, or form. The most interesting part about this is that you're convinced this lie, that appointment setting can make you more than 5 figures a month. I've literally met, I think, 2 appointment setters in 3 years who have made more than 10 grand a month. So it is possible, but it's like, do you want to sit there for years and years and years, slamming DMs all day to make that happen? No. Would you rather sit for like 3 to 4 hours a day, every day, 7 days a week? Let's say make $1,000 a day, 6 days of the week. That's 6 grand a week. 6, 12, 18, 24, 24 grand a month off working 3 to 4 hours a day. I guarantee that there is no appointment set in this entire space who's working 3 to 4 hours a day who is making over 20 grand a month, who's even making over 5 grand a month. Because the reason that appointment setting will slow you down so much, yes, it's because of the technical skill. The reason that appointment setting will slow you down so much is not only because of the technical skill, but it's also because it's who you're surrounded by, right? Because if you're surrounded by a bunch of people who work a 9 to 5, what's the likelihood that you're going to be doing? You're going to be working a 9 to 5. If you surround yourself with people who are appointment setters, what are you going to end up as? An appointment setter. If you surround yourself with people who are taking sales calls, slamming deals and collecting commission, what are you going to do? You're going to end up slamming sales calls, stacking commission, and stacking some bread. If you hang around business owners, what's going to happen? Eventually, you're going to feel inspired enough to actually start your own business. Now, the trap that most appointment setters fall into is that they end up hanging around with appointment setters, and that gives them appointment setter mindset. An appointment setter mindset is like, how can they do the least amount of work and get paid the most amount possible? And it's not coming from a place of time efficiency, because do you genuinely know anybody who makes 100, 150, 200 grand a month, who's absolutely crushing it, who's going to hang out with somebody who is making 5 grand a month? And who it is not even about the number, right? Because the money is not necessarily relevant. It's about the mindset that caused that number. Because the money is just an effect. The cause of the effect is the mind. So you have to look at it in terms of levels of evolution within the mindset, right? It's like the person who's making 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 grand a month, they're going to have evolved their mindset so much, gone through so much fear, doubt, uncertainty, made so many decisions that could have gone wrong, that went right. against somebody who is at the very, very beginning stage and somebody who's like not evolved their mind. And especially if you're staying in a appointment center for like any longer than like 2 months, like there's not many people in this space who are going to sit there and be like, do you know what? I respect that. Literally zero. Because once you evolve as an appointment center, you're like, bro, I just left the appointment center to become a fucking closer, to jump into high ticket sales in the deep end. Everyone's going to be like, yo, respect for that. But there are going to be few people on this planet who sit there and fucking respect somebody who limits their own potential with their own limited beliefs. That doesn't mean that they won't help you, but it doesn't mean that they're going to respect you. And so to be in bigger rooms and bigger people means that you're going to live a more fulfilling life because you're pushing yourself for new challenges that once upon a time you didn't even know existed. You're going to push yourself through limiting beliefs that you did not even realize that you had. Because even if you look at it, right? Because even if you look at it, imagine this, you're an appointment setter, you're single, you haven't got a girl. And you're going to sit there and you think, oh, appointment setter will help me with Tinder. So then you're an appointment setter and you go to Tinder and you're effectively setting these girls on dates. You're thinking, oh my God, this is working. But then when you go to the date, you're sat there thinking, I have no framework, and you're just tweaking out because you haven't actually learned how to have a conversation. How the fuck are you ever going to be able to navigate yourself through those trenches? Now let's imagine that you went the other way, right? You learn how to have solid fucking conversations. You learn how to close. You learn how to take sales school, and you learn how to stack double the amount of cash in the same space of time. Imagine that. Now, not only do you know how to navigate a conversation so the Tinder funnel becomes completely polished, but then when you go onto the date, you got 100% close rate. You're taking that girl back. You'll smash them. You'll do whatever you want to do. But the appointment setter is sat there tweaking, not getting a second date, literally standing there as a victim to the life thinking, fuck, why did I do that? Because the appointment setter, I guarantee, will always invest the same amount of time into a lead getting booked onto a calendar as the closer, yet the closer will make double the amount that the appointment setter makes. Why is that? Because the skill set of actually closing a sales call is worth far more. In fact, it's worth double the amount that sending messages on DMs is worth. Now look, I'm not here to completely shit all over appointment setters, or at least each individual appointment set, but the whole concept of it is so fucked. People are like, yeah, you should use it as a step up if you're not confident. Well, what a retarded way of thinking. What fucking coping mechanisms are you dealing with? Why would you ever want to listen to somebody who's using a coping mechanism to actually help them deal with their own bullshit? Because imagine if you just jumped in the deep end. Are you going to be the type of person who's going to sink, or are you going to be the type of person who is going to swim? Because it's optional. If you truly backed yourself, if I held a gun to your head right now and I said sink or swim, and if you start sinking, I'm going to spray you off in the water, I guarantee that you are going to learn how to swim pretty fucking fast. And so if you put yourself in the same position as that, what's going to happen is you're going to be able to push so much further through. You're going to be able to stack double the amount of money in half the amount of time, develop double the amount of social skills, be around 10x the quality of people, and live in 10x the quality of places, whilst having 10x the amount of freedom. You should never ever trust a man who uses his own insecurities as coping mechanisms and then projects his limiting beliefs onto you. The reason why you should never trust this man is because he is actively not confronting his own insecurity, which is then meaning by ignoring it, he's giving it power. So now the insecurity and his coping mechanisms have power over him. He's saying you need to build confidence before you take a certain action. You need to build confidence before you start taking sales calls. But what if it was the other way around? What if you needed to start taking sales calls in order to build the confidence? What if you needed to face the rejection before you built the confidence? Because you don't build the confidence and then face the rejection. Unfortunately, it's the other way around. And so by listening to those people, you are going to ultimately doom yourself and put yourself into this trench and pit of self-pity and self-hatred. Because you're just like, oh, fuck. So what I would recommend for anybody who's either, one, looking at the high-ticket sales space, two, already in the high-ticket sales space, and is appointment set, is do not settle for appointment set any longer. Do not listen to these setting mentors that say that you're going to make 10, 15, 20 grand a month within 3 months. Because it's a fucking lie. And I don't even benefit from saying this, by the way. It's not like I get direct ROI from saying this. Like, it's not going to benefit me in any way. I'm just sick and fucking tired of seeing all of these little fucking retards who teach appointment setting till you can fly out and live in Dubai as an appointment setter. While that might be true in some cases, is very fucking rare. Very fucking rare. and for them to promote that lifestyle to you, and for you to accept that and buy into that mission is just complete and utter dark manipulation. And if I was you, I would not settle for that. In fact, I would challenge you to think bigger and to open your mind up to bigger possibilities so that you can look at the world and think, do you know what? If all I do was turn up every day for 6 months, my life would fucking change. And you can do it, because that's exactly what I did. I didn't even know what appointment setting was when I first got to this stage. And thank my lucky fucking stars that I didn't. Because if I did, then I probably would have gone for that, because I was a shot-made, introverted kid with little self-confidence and little self-belief when I first started this. And for 6 months, I made zero fucking coin. Zero. I maxed out all my credit cards. People in my family were telling me that I wasn't being sociable because I was locked in my room all day. 5 months later, I clear 5 figures a month. I moved to Thailand. I fuck off. I travel the world, and I leave whatever negativity was behind me. Had I not been surrounded by the right people and connected with the people who push me further, then I would have never had been in that position. So if you're watching this today and you're thinking, what decision do I make? Take whatever inspiration you can from this to open your mind to the biggest possibility that you possibly fucking can, and take that fucking step.